All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakodash. And double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to Yakim bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. And as you see here, it says only one thing can bring peace to Middle East, right? And they're saying that it's the creation of an independent Palestinian state is what can guarantee an end to the conflict, Russian foreign minister says. And well, that's incorrect according to prophecy. Really, the only thing that can bring peace to the Middle East is ultimately war. And why is that? Hey, because it's of prophetic, scriptures, that this war has to happen, and then peace will be established upon the earth, man. Right? So peace can only happen after war has been established, man, or after war is finished. That's just how the order of things happen, Every time there's a resource or a land in which another nation wants or wants to gather or to obtain, it starts with bloodshed. Just like when we take a look at the kingdoms, you look at the Assyrian, you take a look at the Babylonian, you take a look at the Medo-Persian empires, the Grecian Empire to the Roman Empire. All these empires were translated from one unto the other, and it didn't happen by peace. It happened by bloodshed, man. It happened by war, by great violence. So there's nothing new under the sun, man. It's the same pattern every time. War has to happen in order for peace to be established. And understanding that this man he's all about war, man. That's his MO. So let's get into it. It says the conflict in the Middle East can only be resolved by stopping the violence and creating the conditions for an establishment of independent Palestinian state. And that's the thing that the people don't understand. That's not their land either. That's our land, man. Talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Yahweh Shem Shai dedicated that land unto the nation of Israel. No other nation is supposed to be fighting over it or trying to claim it when it was given unto people already. Right? It says there will be no winners, and that's fact. In the ongoing war, there will be no winners, according to Edomites, man. Because the next rulers are from the house of Jacob, man. Hence, the second Esdras 6 and 8, and it reads, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that shows you right there that the next ruler has to be Jacob. Because what? He is still ruling, man. The earth is still in the hands of the wicked, as the scripture says in Job 9 and 24. So the next turn of rulership, it belongs unto Israel, man. And more matter of fact, there's a Sirach 10 at the top. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And I'm going to read down to 4. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So when you look at E's government, you look at from the elites down, it's a system full of Edomites that hate Jacob, right? And then you go into the Senate, the House of Representatives, so forth and so on, and you see what bills and legislations they sign off on. It's all to ultimately oppress you. When we go into Isaiah the 10th chapter, it speaks about the grievousness which they prescribed, man, decreeing unrighteous decrees. So E is doing all of this. Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, where it speaks about he enlargeth his desire as hell. He is never satisfied, right? He's doing this to heap lands. That's what the scripture says in Micah. He heapeth all things unto himself. Woe unto him, that have that covetous spirit, man, right? This is the man who's ruling the earth. And then here he's telling you, oh, well, it's only peace if the Palestinians get it. No, it's only peace when Yahweh Shai returns, to destroy And then peace is established upon the earth after. After the destruction is peace going to be upon the earth. Not now. This is not the time, as the scripture says in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. This is not the season of peace. This is a season of hate and war, right? Which ultimately will lead into that world without end, in which Israel is going to be the top nation in the world, right? It says in an interview with the Turkish daily Hurriyet, he said, "We are seeing a deepening spiral of violence in the Middle East, and that an increasing number of countries are being drawn into the whirlpool of confrontation." Right, the larger countries, are funding proxy wars, and the little men are fighting against each other. But soon, those same conflicts are going to require, the much larger countries, to fight each other, man. It's not going to be a shadow fight anymore. It's going to be a nation against a nation, a Russia against the U.S., North Korea against the U.S., China against the U.S., Israel against these nations, Iran against Israel, which, understanding the backing of whose side everyone's on, is going to be a world war. That's why the scripture says what it says here in the book of Revelation 11 and 14. And it reads, "The second woe is past," right? The second world war is past. "And behold, the third woe cometh quickly," the third world war. So where's these talkings of peace? See, E likes to throw out the illusion of peace because that gets people in a docile state of mind. So when chaos happens, it's easier to control and corral them because he's already going to have a system set in place that's going to be a breath of fresh air, so to speak, for them. It's going to be a comfort. Chaos erupts. Next thing you know, he's like, well, hey, we've just created a solution for you guys. This is what you do, right? And that's going to appease the mind of the people, not even understanding that he created the chaos to establish order. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:3. And it says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of the darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." Right? So us paying attention to prophecies, and being locked in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we understand that the talks that they're having is vain, man. Because the words and prophecies of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are faithful and true. And how do we know that? When we go into the book of Isaiah, the 55th chapter, in the 11th verse, it tells us, it says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it." Meaning what? Everything that's written has to come to pass. Regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of what these world leaders are talking about, Yahweh Bashim Shai's word is going to be that which stands, man. There's no wavering from that. There's no other backup plan. No. If he said war is going to be established upon the earth, and when we go into the book of 2nd Esdras, right, which we're going to touch in, matter of fact, the 2nd Esdras 13 at the top, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven." Who is that speaking about? Yahweh Shai and the host of heaven, the chariots, the angels. It says, "And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him." Right, because he's going to appear. And the scripture speaks of in the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, about him, who is this who cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra. Right, and speaking about the bloodshed, how it's signified into, the amount of blood up to a horse's bridle. Right, so this prophecy has not happened yet, but it's going to happen in your days, man. Right? So these peace talks are a Palestinian state or Israeli state. No. The scriptures clearly tell us, hey, that Yahweh Shai is going to return and snatch all the crowns off the kings of the earth head, man. Meaning what? He's asserting his dominance, his rule, his order, his dominion. Then peace is going to be established after war. Because he has to come and humble and judge, plead with all flesh, as the scripture says. That word is mashapat, which is judgment. That has to come to pass before all is good. And that's another sign showing you, therefore, that those who say they are Jews, they are really not. And we understand when we go into that precept in Revelation 2 and 9, speaking about Jake. But nevertheless, it's still applicable, right? But the scriptures tell you, when the Israelites are in their land, the nation shall know war. They shall not know war anymore, man. Signifying peace, right? But we're not in that time yet. It says, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire, right? And that's speaking of the laser or the concentrated fire, which is going to be coming out of the chariots. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Right. And you got all these nations that are gathering up in the Middle East to fight what you would call the war of Armageddon. Right. Or Armageddon. Right. Which means what? The valley of troops. Right. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And that's speaking of the size of that chariot. It says, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude was to be perceived but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So showing you that violence through Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is what's going to bring peace. Not them trying to come up with a treaty or a certain pact, or having country meetings. No, that's not what's going to do it. This place is too polluted. And ultimately, as the scripture says in the book of Proverbs, I believe it's the 21st chapter, it says, the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Showing you that Yahweh Bashim Yahshai has the minds of these leaders in his hand, man. And whatever he tells them to do, however he navigates them to move in order to bring forth the end, they can't stop that. They're bound unto prophecy as we all are. We're all bound unto the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. So peace ain't coming, man. War is coming. We're in the midst of war. So them having the hopes, look, Moscow calls for an immediate cessation like of hostilities, and is undertaking diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation. However, long-lasting peace in the region can only be established through the creation of an independent Palestinian state within the borders of 1967. That's not going to do nothing, man. It was written from the beginning that this place and the structure of the Edomite must be taken down. Esau is at the end of his age, man. The end of his eon, right? And next is the dominion of Jacob, which he is going to be in the position of the servant in which he is, man. In the kingdom. His heaven is our hell. Our heaven is going to be his hell. It's that plain. But with great violence, and even speaking about this place, with great violence shall that city Babylon fall, man. Right? And that's also concerning those in the Middle East who are claiming our land. Violence is going to overtake them. And violence from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, most importantly, right? So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to Ya'akim bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.